Welcome to Rabbi Son, hot takes on news, pop culture, and religion, hosted by Rabbi Patrick, that's me, and my son, Javon. Spiritual, irreverent, always fearless, produced by Darshan Yeshiva. So, we're going to do some more of the Reddit questions, because you do seem to be into that. Okay, here we go. This first one, am I the A for asking my boyfriend's sister to stop cooking pork? So here we go. 2 months ago, my boyfriend's sister, 19-year-old female, broke up with her boyfriend and had to move out of his apartment. So my boyfriend, who's 26-year-old male, and I, 27, non-binary, so like within an 8-year range of each other, offered to let her move in with us. When she moved in, I asked her to clean up after herself if she cooked meat, as neither my boyfriend nor I eat meat, and not to cook anything with shellfish, as I have a severe shellfish allergy. She said that was fine and that she would make sure to do it. But, she has not been cleaning up after herself in the kitchen, and almost every day I have to clean congealed animal fat off pots and pans that she has left out overnight. I don't mind doing her dishes when I'm already washing mine and my boyfriend's. Okay, that's probably part of the problem, but I really hate having to clean out animal fat and bits of meat from all my cookware. I've asked her several times to remember to clean up after herself. She always says she will, and she never does. And then here's the hook, line, and sinker. I'm also Jewish, and although I'm not religious, it's still important to me to follow my cultural practices. Having pork in the kitchen makes me uncomfortable generally, as you are not supposed to share any cooking surfaces or utensils between kosher and non-kosher foods, but having to clean it up myself makes me feel dirty in a way that I can't fully explain. There's even more related to this. She's really mad about the pork. She woke up yesterday to some of this. She said, meaning this roommate person, that she was being unfair since she doesn't ask me not to cook things that she doesn't like. I replied that if I was cooking in her kitchen and she was doing all my dishes for me, she'd be within her rights to ask me not keep cooking something that she hated cleaning, and that it's not even about me not liking pork. It's a religious obligation not to contaminate my food. She started crying, saying that I must think her food is gross or dirty if it will contaminate mine. I tried to apologize. Oh, this is getting way out of hand. This is way out of hand. The sister left, saying she was going to stay with a friend, wasn't expecting her to have to organize her life around her demands because she was already accommodated me enough with my allergy. I really don't feel like I'm controlling or demanding, and I feel like if I've been too harsh, but I also feel really uncomfortable with having to ignore something so important to me. So, am I the A? Wow. And there was way more to that also, right? Like, I at a certain point kind of gave up. So, Javon, your thoughts?
I feel like, okay, you letting the sister move in, that was a good thing.
Right. Nice. That's a nice thing to do.
Good, nice, yeah. Some people wouldn't do that. So that was good for you. But the moment you told her to clean up after herself, and then you went back and cleaned up after her, it's taught her that, right. I'm not gonna clean up after myself. She's gonna do it anyway.
Right.
She's gonna come in here and clean it anyway.
Right.
And then it's like you just letting it go on. Like at some point what you need to do was not clean anything. And you and your boyfriend just eat out until the dishes got cleaned. Sometimes every dish needs to be dirty. And then she asks, well, why have you cleaned the dishes? Did I dirty those dishes?
Right.
What did you?
Right.
If you want to eat, you gotta clean those dishes.
Right.
And then I just feel like the sister, this speaks to the brother and sister's home training. Because it feels like she doesn't have any home training. Because it's like, why are you going in someone else's kitchen cooking?
Right.
And then not clean up after yourself?
Right. Right.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those things where a person has never felt like the natural consequences of their actions, because if she keeps cleaning up afterwards, it creates this whole it's chill kind of vibe, right? And clearly it's not chill. And this person, the post, who's asking am I the jerk? Actually, in a sense, you are a jerk. You're a jerk that you say that this is a boundary. You then violate the boundary by cleaning up after her, and then hold resentment for it not being cleaned up. When the truth of the matter is, you know, you're letting someone's behavior like live rent free in your mind, right? And what you really need to do is just say, hey, I'm not going to clean this stuff up because it is not my responsibility. And so you clean it up. And then if the girl goes crying and saying, like, oh, I don't, whatever, then it just wasn't meant to be. Some people you're just not supposed to live with.
Exactly. And, where was the brother? Letting his sister run him up.
That's a good question. That's a good question. Why is it the women that have to be responsible for one another in this one? Why can't the family members?
Exactly. It's always, and I don't understand why the girl busted out crying because she was being confronted. I hate when people do that.
Yeah.
Because now you knew it was wrong, and now you're just crying to try to dilute the situation.
Right.
So it make me feel bad for you when you were in the wrong.
Right.
You're crying for sympathy, and so people can go easy on you, even though you're in the wrong, and then you're gonna turn around and do the exact same thing, and then the whole cycle starts again. No, you were not wrong. That's the thing. That's bottom line.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, she's living in your house. So
Right.
you're she is gonna have to accommodate,
whatever.
I personally just don't see the problem.
Yeah.
With clean up after yourself. I just don't see that problem. But apparently the sister sees that problem.
Yeah, and you're right about the whole thing about the sort of crying part at the end is that we don't know if this person, because we don't know their background, we don't know if this is a thing that they do, that they can't really live with other people, or they lived in a household where it was acceptable to do these things, and her way of getting out of stuff was to cry and cause a problem if she learned that from somewhere. Yeah, so because people do that, right? They push limits and then they cry as a way to earn sympathy, like you said.
Exactly. And try to be oh, you're against me, and then against the person, a person who is unsure of themselves, like this person is,
right?
To question whether their actions were right or wrong, because they see when people cry and you're talking to them in a harsh tone, and you see them crying, you're like, oh, did I do something wrong? Because now I'm making them cry. You need to be decisive. You need to be able to make a decision and be this is my decision,
right?
And nothing's gonna stop me from laying down the law.
Yeah. Yeah.
No tears.
Yeah.
No, but I will do. No.
Well, this is a throwaway account, but throw RA_cat_5203. We're definitely on your side. And to your point, Javon, this one person, Celtic Muse Books, makes a really great point. They say, so you realize your boyfriend has no respect for you, right? You let his sister move in, but she's doing you a favor by not cooking a food that will literally sicken you. NTA, not the A. But why are you allowing this man to treat you as a less than? Woo. Yeah.
People do what you allow, and they will keep doing it. So yeah, if you carry yourself with respect, people will treat you with respect.
Right. I'm with you 100%. Yeah, there is no one in here who is saying that the original poster is the issue.
Yeah,
but they are starting
around you. That's the issue.
Right. But they are starting to dogpile on the boyfriend, which I think honestly that's fair. Now that would be an interesting one. What weird brother sister dynamic do they have that he doesn't feel like he can step in and say yo sis, got to be cool about the Jewish girl that, you're in her house. Don't have pork in the house or shellfish. And it'll also give her anaphylactic shock on top of all that.
I mean, the decent thing to do is okay, I'm not going to want to kill someone on accident. You could want to do that. That's that's reasonable.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
any reasonable person.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's to a point where, okay, I told you once. It's
yeah.
You should tell people one time and then maybe give them grace the second time, but then by the third time it's okay, now you're playing and now you're being disrespectful and it's not an accident. So now I'm gonna have to put down the law. And she didn't do that. And then the boyfriend is just somewhere tucking tail.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
He's in a weird middle ground of he's having to choose between his girlfriend and his sibling.
What is it to choose from? There's either clean or dirty.
Well, in the church land, right.
This is about respect and disrespect.
Right. But
this is not, if you can't hold your siblings to account, then That's your problem. Like,
yeah, no, it is his problem. Big time.
Like, seriously, if being like, hey, sis, this is what you're doing, and this being disrespectful, and I'm gonna need you to do this. If you can't say that, then like I'm confused on how you operate in life.
Right.
Because you can't check your family, you can't check anybody else. And I just feel like, you can't be walking around with a person that, you know, can't even be like, check someone they know in their whole life.
Right.
And be like, hey, this behavior is unacceptable.
Right. Yeah. This is clearly a weird brother-sister dynamic where he's sort of in the middle, but there is no middle to be in. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
because this is his house too.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
like,
even more so. Yeah,
but it's like she cleans up his dishes too. So now it's like she's the maid. She's the maid and the housekeeper. Yeah. And like I said, people will treat you how you allow them to treat you.
Yeah,
people just need more self-respect. Ultimately, this goes out. No, she is not the bad person, but she do need to work on self-respect and self-love. Because it's clearly lacking.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she hasn't posted anywhere else, so I'm guessing this was just like a one and done. But yeah, we're on your side if we haven't made it abundantly clear yet.
Yeah, to an extent.
To an extent. Because you feel like she should like woman up a little bit and tell the sister, like, well, she did, and you know.
Yeah, but you're allowing you're allowing things and you're not having, you know, necessary conversations.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and she did have the necessary conversation. The sister left and the boyfriend is mad at her for expecting her to organize her life around her demands. So yeah, I am pro like this guy's not for you. Like
wait, the sister?
Okay, so the boyfriend's sister, right? The one that's causing the conflict with the dishes, right? She left and she was going to go stay with a friend. And then the boyfriend, though, gets mad and says that, like, his girlfriend is being a problem for, quote unquote, expecting her, meaning his sister, to organize her life around her demands because she has already accommodated me enough with the allergy. So basically, like, you asked for two things: the no pork, or if you're going to have pork, you have to at least clean up. I think that's kind of where that was at. And then the no, shellfish because that's going to make me sick, and also religion. And like, I guess the theory is like, well, but the sister is, the sister is cool with one thing. So if she doesn't do the other thing, like, you can't ask for two things. You're only allowed to ask for one thing, apparently, in this boyfriend's brain.
Yeah, and she needs to go. Like the moment that would have been like, you're blaming me because your sister living in my house.
Right.
You know, the place where we dwell, where we pay bills. She didn't pay bills.
Right.
She's a guest.
Right.
She's a guest that was extending the invitation that can be resent at any moment. And I get people have like, troubling spaces. I just truly don't believe like there's like a certain amount of time you could like stay with me before you had to go.
Right.
And because now you're going to be on the lease and then like you're going to have a hard time kicking you out. 5 days. For me, 5 days.
5 days? That's 5 days is the cutoff?
Yeah, 5 days.
Unless this is like an Airbnb situation and you're paying for the privilege.
No, because then, like, in some places, like, if a person stays in that house long enough, that apartment, then they're on the lease. Then, like, when you be like...
Oh, that's true, yeah.
I can't, like, I need to be able to, get you up out of here when I need you up out of here.
Right.
If you're on the lease, I can't get you up out of there.
That's true.
So, people, be careful. About how, know your state laws.
Yeah, you should.
And know how long people could be on your house before they're on that lease.
And now I feel bad because apparently the person who is the Jewish person in this story with the allergy, whatever, is non-binary. So I may have accidentally told them to woman up. But I think
you were saying that I was gonna correct.
Yeah, no, you should have. You should check.
Yeah, no, I would have, but then I was like, no, he's gonna get it. And
Yeah. Okay. Well, I apologize. I think it was because I kept seeing the word sister and she over and over again, and that's where maybe I messed up. So my apologies. We're still on your side. You could be anybody. We'd still be on your side. So, yeah.
Yeah. Lose the boyfriend, lose a sister, gain a free life.
Yeah, I'm kind of with him on that.
Exactly.
Well done, Javon. Thank you to our sponsors at Darshan Yeshiva for making this content possible. Darshan Yeshiva provides beginner-level online Jewish learning, including the very popular Conversion to Judaism program, with sponsoring rabbis and students all over the world. Start your Jewish journey any place, anywhere, and anytime with our conservative, reform, reconstructionist, Jewish renewal, humanistic, and post-denominational rabbi mentors. Become the Jew you always wanted to be with Darshan Yeshiva.